Hey everybody, welcome back to Attack on Titan World. How's your week been? To be honest with you, I can't really remember. Everything about my week has been blocked out by FanFest. Final Fantasy XIV's FanFest in Las Vegas. I did not go myself. Why can't you use that? You just haven't got enough juice, apparently. Apparently I came in here hurt, still. Interesting. It was an interesting choice to not heal before coming in here. Definitely an interesting choice. Oh dear. Oh dear. I can't believe I've not healed. Okay. That's fine. I'll tell you what. Let's take a quick trip to the Overlord's castle. And then heal and go back in. That's fine. That's my bad. That is 100% my bad. It's fine, we'll just click on this again. So we got rarity. We got the rarity. So we need to get an even rarer one. This looks like a better stage to start with anyway. Except for these two who are very far away. And that's stupid. Hi. FanFest. That's right. FanFest. So, you guys know we do a lot of Final Fantasy here on the channel. We do a lot of Final Fantasy 14. We do job quests, we do other random quests, we do holiday events, we do seasonal events, we do the main scenario, of course. You know, we do a lot of stuff, and I really, really love Final Fantasy 14. I punched the wrong thing. I'm the worst. But yes, so we do a lot of Final Fantasy here, so it's only natural that I want to talk about this because it was crazy. It was really, really fun. So we were expecting some stuff from FanFest directly, right? So going into FanFest, there was a few things that we expected that were going to be there, and they were. Okay, so we were expecting the expansion that was going to come out next year, and that absolutely did. We were like, okay, fine, that's good. So we got an expansion trailer, and we were expecting the expansion trailer to be called Shadowbringer. We were expecting it to be called Shadowbringer because they patented Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringer or something to that effect, and that's kind of a tell, you know. It's kind of a tell if you patent something. It just kind of makes sense. Especially, it also made sense with the current story that is being told in Final Fantasy, with a coming, like the word calamity is being thrown around a lot, and that's very interesting when it comes to Final Fantasy, because the calamity is the latest calamity is what brought the game from 1.0 to A Realm Reborn, which is where the game became pretty famous. It became pretty huge. All of a sudden, everyone really was excited for Final Fantasy 14 because the calamity literally destroyed the thing. So the story of 1.0, right at the end, Bahamut comes down and he absolutely destroys everything. Like, he destroys the entire server world. You know, like, it's all gone. And then it's completely rechanged. Well, I mean, I think some bits stayed the same. The capital cities stayed mostly the same, except from Gridania, who received quite the brunt of it, I guess. Is there any possible way? I'm just going to turn the mover one step closer, and maybe we'll be able to hit them like this now. Yeah, just about. So we see this trailer, right? We're watching FanFest, the stream. What the fuck is? All right, fine, whatever. You know what? You know, fucking know what? Fuck yeah. I'm skipping that floor. Jeez. Right, so yes. So they open this trailer up, and it's the Warrior of Light walking through a barren wasteland, and he's an archer, right? He's an archer. Now that's relevant, okay? The fact that he's an archer is very important. It's very relevant to the plot. You can watch it on the Square Enix channel, by the way, if you want to watch it before I explain away randomly at you these different meanings that I think exist. But so they start off as an archer. Now that's significant because in 1.0, originally, the original character of the Warrior of Light, the character that they use in the adverts for the Warrior of Light, he was a warrior. No, not a warrior. He was an archer, right? He was an archer, then he changed to warrior. Now, he changed to warrior just before 2.0, in the 2.0 trailer, and he was warrior fighting Bahamut, and that was... And then, you know, he swaps again and again and again. And for each expansion, he has swapped to a different type of job. Now, he's... Did I just... Oh my fucking god, I'm so sorry. I thought... Here. I'm so sorry, Mega Man. I'm such an idiot. I didn't see... I'm going to blame the camera angle, but that was absolutely my fault. I should have remembered that I put that there, basically. So each expansion has the Warrior of Light a different job, picking up a different job role. Right, now I'll go through those as well. But the trailer has here fighting some sort of angel, right? A Valkyrie. And the Valkyrie is important because that is a creature of the light, I guess. A creature of white mage, like a creature of Abdoporian sort of relevance. And so that's interesting because the light is becoming too much. We're saving the world too much, and the light is basically crushing the world. So there's like a balance of light between Hydaelyn and Zodiac in Final Fantasy XIV. And there's many shards. There's many different shards around. Many different shards, which is basically a word for an alternative reality, I guess. You could say different planets. It's very confusing. I'm not entirely sure of the relevance of the different shards myself. But from my understanding, they're kind of... Or from the way I like to see it, they're kind of more like alternative realities, essentially. And saying that they are different, but it's hard to explain, right? But so in a patch beforehand, we got the Warrior of Darkness. The Warrior of Darkness showed up in one of the patches during Heaven's Ward, and basically he shows up and he's like, "Yo, I'm here to destroy your world, basically, and cause a calamity because you're saving it too much, and you're gonna flood your entire world with light. I've done this already. I went into my world, I saved it, every single threat that came my way, I saved it, I destroyed every foe that we had. And all it left was a blinding light that enveloped everything." Right? So like too much good, and it fucked up his entire world. Right? That's basically the idea. So he's like, shit, I'm not gonna let that happen to this world either, so I'm gonna fuck it up. Right? So you, the Warrior of Light and the Warrior of Darkness, you fight, and then he's like, fine, you beat me, you have it your way, but, you know, mark my words, you're gonna fuck it up, okay? But he kind of leaves, and we have an understanding that this is our world, and we'll figure out a way to save it. And he's like, well, okay, whatever, and he pieces out back into the Aether, back into his universe. You know, he fucks off. Now, he is essentially dead, but his echo is strong enough that he can keep his individuality in the Aether. Does that make sense? Like for all sense and purposes, in the live stream. In the live stream, he can keep his mind somewhat stable, right? So he can manage to do this. So this is how he crossed between different worlds, or how the Warrior of Darkness came over to our world. So Philia, she fucked off with them and did that nonsense, right? So, but their world was fucked, basically, right? Completely enveloped in light because they had destroyed every foe. Now we're in that exact same position. Every single foe that comes up, we destroy. And in this expansion, we're going after the Garlemolds. We're going after the Garleans. The Garleans, who are the people who have been causing all of this pain, all of this destruction. We're going to go after them. We're going to finish them off. And by doing so, we're probably not going to have much left out to fight. And that will probably flood the world with light, and we'll probably all die Now, how do you fix that? Basically, judging by the trailer, you have to become the Warrior of Darkness. This is a I think, is it Final Fantasy 3? I think this is a big topic in Final Fantasy 3, where you're the Warriors of Darkness, or the Warriors of Darkness also exist, and now you're the new Warriors of Light that are now coming to try and fix what the Warriors of Darkness had to do to balance it out, you know? It's a topic that's been used in the Final Fantasy before, basically. But it swaps through all of the different jobs, right? Kind of to show how... It kind of tries to show how far we've come. Right? So, like, it starts off as you as a bard. This Valkyrie comes down, this Beacon of Light, who's basically coming to destroy everything because there's too much light now. Like, the light is now the bad guy. And he's a bard, he smacks him, breaks the bow, throws him backwards. He transforms into Warrior, which is the next one that he transforms to at the beginning of 2.0. Then he attacks again. Then he attacks again, and the shield breaks through the axe. It shatters the axe into 1,000 pieces. There is a trailer. There is another section of this trailer that I'll unpack in a minute to do with Fengrid, which I'll also talk about. I could talk about this all day. I think I'm proving that I can talk about this all day because I think I am. But that's fine. I'll get there. I'll get there in a minute. So the axe breaks into 1,000 pieces. He then swaps to Dragoon and jumps. Right, does a jump. Dragoon is what he swapped to in Heaven's Ward because we went into Ishgard and we were fighting dragons. And the Dragoon, of course, is basically a knight of Ishgard. Like, the Dragoons are they're big boys, they're granddaddies, you know, they're the big dudes. Sorry, my game is not very on at the moment, is it? So he swaps to a Dragoon, and then the sword comes down on top of him, and he blocks with the lance, snaps the lance in two, gets thrown to the floor. He swaps to Monk, which is what he was at the beginning of the trailer for Stormblood, which he was a monk, and he's training with Lys in the cutscene, but Stormblood is separated into two different parts. It's separated into the Hingen part with all the cool stuff like the Hien and Doma and all that, and it's also separated into the Alamegans, which the Alamegans 20% don't want that, do I? The Alamegan side is where he was a monk. When he goes to Kugane, to the Hingen areas, he becomes a samurai. So he jumps up, he goes to punch the thing, he gets rejected again, and then he turns into a samurai. He gets stepped on, which, me being a samurai, is kind of upsetting that there's a whole new wave of careful samurai, don't get stepped on jokes. I don't need them. I'm a samurai, and I'm going to be a samurai the entire way through. I don't care. But it'll be fine. Then he's about to get killed, right? The samurai is being crushed underneath the foot, and the angel raises his sword to stab it. His arms gets cut off by a great sword, and our Warrior of Light has now turned into a Dark Knight, which makes sense for a Warrior of Darkness. Aesthetically, it makes sense. So that's actually interesting. I'm like, okay, so he's a Dark Knight now. It's interesting that we swapped to the job that spent the entire Stormblood expansion being made fun of. That, I think, is very funny. It's because everyone kind of mocks Dark Knight, right? It's like, it's the tank that you don't bother with and all that. We gotta get up here. You know what? Fuck this one. We're just gonna skip this one too. This is what I've come to now. I'm just skipping everything. Oh look, gravestones. That's cheery. Right, is anyone up here? No, good. Okay, this looks like a stage that we can clear relatively easily. Yes, so he then swaps to Dark Knight, cuts its arm off, and is like, you know, looks at the camera and smiles because now he's the Warrior of Darkness, and he's gonna have to beat the shit out of the light and just balance out the world, right? That's kind of what he has to do. He has to become the villain, essentially, to balance out the world between light and dark. And you think, how are we gonna do that? I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna do that. I have no idea how the story is going to create itself based around those principles. I have no fucking clue. But I'm interested. I'm super interested. It was a very, very cool trailer. Very cool, very nice cinematic. But there was a bit that I wanted to unpack, which we didn't talk about, which was the just as he transforms to Warrior and runs back at the Valkyrie, it swaps to another scene of Thancred running up some stairs. Now, it's interesting that they choose Thancred, okay? For starters, Thancred has a gunblade on his back, and despite me being... I am a gunblade hater, okay? I guess you could call me that. Not because I hate, just because I want to hate on it. I hate it because I think gunblades look stupid. You know, I just think they always look fucking dumb. This gunblade actually looks pretty fucking tight, though. It looks pretty dope. I'll be honest. Like, I can be... if anything, I want to be reasonable, and I actually think that this one looks really fucking cool. So, yes, I didn't want to like it. I really, really didn't want to like it. I wanted to hate it and be like, oh, gunblade, stupid. It's like, but I really like the look of it. Actually, it looks like a really cool weapon on Thancred's back, at least. I still think the gunblades that the Garleans use are fucking stupid. I don't like them at all. But the one that Thancred had specifically looks very, very cool, which fills me of some hope of how it works. If I'm honest, like, it actually is pretty interesting. That it might be fun. It might be fun to do it. You know, who knows? But hopefully Gunblade will be good. But so that's not a job announcement, right? That wasn't a job announcement. He just has a Gunblade now. There's nothing to say that we're going to get a Gunblade job. Yoshi P on the thing, he said that there was a hint in that trailer. So yes, basically Gunblade, I believe, is going to be a job. And I can go into what I want that to be in a minute, I guess. But let's talk about what else that Thancred, what that could mean, right? So Thancred comes in, and he's there with what looks like a little girl, right? And that's kind of interesting. So why is he with this little girl? Who is this little girl to Thancred, and why is it important? He's in a town that we have not seen before. We saw some concept art for the town that I believe he's in, and he said this town has changed, not for the better. So I'm assuming that means this is where he was born. We don't know where Thancred was born. I don't believe we do anyway. Correct me in the comments if we do, right? Please do so. If you know where Thancred is born, you let me know. But I think this is where he could be born, potentially. This could be his thing. So he's there with a little girl. There was another concept art later on with a Dark Knight on a horse holding a little white girl, right? A little white girl. It was very concept art, like a black horse, a humanoid in black armor with a white girl who looked unconscious in his arm. So I don't know. I'm assuming that means like she is going to be quite important to the story going forward. In some regard, I don't know what is going to be with her yet. I don't know who she is. So we know that Thancred also did a lot of work for Philia, and Thancred really cares about Philia, right? Cares about Philia as a little sister. He saved her back in 1.0 when her father died. I don't know. I'd have to go back and revisit that. But like long ago, he saved her, and Philia has was part of 1.0 as well, and became a much bigger role, much bigger role in 2.0. And then in the end of 2.0, spoilers, she dies essentially, or goes into the Aether Stream in some regard. And she's now like part of the crystal or something, and it's very fucking confusing, to be honest, the whole Philia thing. It's very confusing, and I don't know what is happening with that situation. But so she is now out of the picture, essentially. But it's these trailers, these very, very small trailers, and what they show here usually has a lot of relevance, right? Usually has a lot of information that we need to know, or not that maybe that we need to know, but what we should know, and what we should be able to figure out from it. So it tells me that she is some form of importance, and judging by the concept art that they showed as well, the Dark Knight holding a white silhouetted child, and I believe that is her. And I also believe that she is going to be very important to the light, right? She is going to be like a balancer of some sort, and she is going to have some sort of relation to Philia. I don't know if it'll be Philia or if something will be related in that regard, but I think it has to be some relation because Thancred is all there as well, right? I don't know if Thancred is there just to show off the fact that we're going to get a Gunblade class, maybe? I don't know. But it feels like he's got to be there for some form of reason, right? Now, I don't know what that reason may be, but it seems to me like this is it, right? It's there, like, the girl is very important. We just don't know why. And Thancred is also wearing a white jacket. Maybe that's symbolic of something or not. I don't know. I don't know that either. But at the same time, I've wanted a jacket like that for a while now. It's annoying that Thancred's got it. Probably gonna have to buy it on the cash shop when it's done. Did that just heal me? I think that healed me. Crazy. Okay, so let's talk about the other big announcement there, which was a new job. This job is coming in 4.5. So in 4.5, when the new story patch arrives, we're also going to get a new job. So I'll do some videos on that as that topic as well when it releases. But that was kind of a crazy announcement. Now, it was leaked at some point beforehand that Blue Mage was going to be 4.5. And to be honest, I didn't believe it. I was like, no, it's bollocks. It's all shit because they wouldn't do that again after Ninja being such a disaster. But here we go. They've released Blue Mage. Now, what's different about Blue Mage? Blue Mage is weird. It's a weird class, and I'm in two minds of it at this point. Right? I have two separate opinions that I can't really decide on which one that I want to commit to, essentially. So, Blue Mage, on one hand, it's a solo job. Right? It's a limited job, meaning it doesn't have any level requirements, right? It doesn't have any, you don't need to have a certain class at a certain level to unlock it or anything like that. You can, once you hit level 50 on any job, you can just go and get Blue Mage. You just go, pick it up, this is mine now, I now have Blue Mage. You can't use Blue Mage in current content, because its job cap will be set to 50. Then I was like, okay, so it's level 50 job. So we can't do anything about that. That's interesting. Why can't we do anything about why is it level 50 and why can't it go into content? Because instead of the normal base way of how this game works, of how the Final Fantasy works in general, this is going to work differently. So once again, it's like, okay, it's going to work differently. How do you mean, right? So back in FF11, you had to go out into the field as a blue mage. You used to have to get hit by or see. You had to see something happen. You had to see a skill be used, and then kill that creature to have a chance to learn that skill, right? The skill that the monster have. So the trailer that they showed off for Blue Mage showed it learning Bad Breath, right? A Morble used Bad Breath. It saw it. It killed it. It learned the Blue Mage learned Bad Breath. This is cool. This is something that I wanted. I wanted it to be like this because I like Blue Mage. I like Blue Mage in FF11. I thought Blue Mage in FF11 is cool. It's unique. It's interesting. I did have an idea of how they could put it into this game, essentially. Like, I did have some form of idea, but they didn't go with that, but at the same time, I didn't really tell anybody other than my SC mates about my plan, my idea of that, right? So there was no way that was going to ever get implemented regardless. But this is how it works. So you see a skill, you learn it, and then you can use that monster skill. That's fucking rad, right? Like, you want to use monster skills, it's fucking cool. Like, I want to use monster skills, that's great. But you can't use it in content. So it's like, okay, so if I can't use Blue Mage in content, then is the job wasted? And no, I don't think it is. I don't think the job is wasted at all. I think that Blue Mage is interesting, okay? You can only have it level 50. You won't be able to use it in current content at all, because these job things we didn't steal from him. I fucked that up. Let me do this. Let's do this. Let me turn the castle. Now let me just talk to you guys for a second, okay? I would normally carry on, but I don't want to split my focus here. So you have a book, right? You have a spell book, and inside your book is a hint on where you can learn the spell, right? It'll be like Halatali by the looks of things. The screenshot that they gave us, the example was find in Halatali. So you go to the dungeon Halatali, and essentially one of the mobs in there, bosses maybe, will have the skill or spell that you can learn. And the idea is you talk with the other people in the world, and then you find other Blue Mage skills, right? This is going to be incredibly hard to balance and incredibly broken. So instead of making it work, they decided to just take it out of the concept altogether. They've added its own Blue Mage content in, which is called the Masked Carnival, which is like a Colosseum fight, and like you need to use elements to fight different elements and stuff like that. So that sounds interesting. I need to hear more about that before I make a huge statement about that. But so my two minds of this, right, is one, is it a waste of a job? Yes and no, right? Yes, you can't use this job in current content. It's going to be horribly imbalanced. So you can only use it in the open field and in level 50 or lower dungeons. The level cap will increase on its own. Right, so okay, this is a solo job. This is what you're going to do for solo content. A solo content in an MMO. Is that wasted? Again, yes and no. Like, yes, it's annoying to put it in because it's going to be upsetting for a lot of MMO players, but for the people who play MMOs solo, like a lot of people, I think this will be fun. It'll be a fun, different concept. It'll be interesting and different for people to do. I'm going to do it. I think it'll be fun. But yes, I'm kind of in both parties with this. I think Blue Mage is stupid that it won't be in current content. So new raids, you won't be able to use your Blue Mage, so it's pointless. But at the same time, it's a solo experience with its own content designed around it. So assuming that content is good, then it absolutely is worth it, and it absolutely isn't a waste. Do you see what I mean? Like, collecting spells is going to be fun, so I think it is good, and it isn't a waste of space. But at the same time, it's very disappointing that we can't use Blue Mage as an actual class to join other classes in actual content. you know, like current content. But maybe eventually they'll find a way how to balance it. I don't know yet, but maybe. Now, my plan, my idea for Blue Mage, the thing that I was kind of thinking would be cool is if they just did it like Black Mage or whatever, but like through class quests you unlock skills normally just like you would the way every other job has been, but you start off at the Culinarian Guild, right? So you go out and you get these poisonous monsters, these dangerous creatures like Morballs and stuff like that, and then you have a cook at the Culinarian Guild cook it for you, and you eat, and then you like devour these like poisonous creatures, which then gives you the skill, gives you the ability to use bad breath and stuff like that. And like that's kind of what I wanted, and I think that then it would be able, then you'd be able to balance the skills, and you'd be able to shove it into the current game system instead of creating a new system for it. But at the same time, having a complete different system gives you something else to play entirely. So, like I said, it's quite confusing, and I'm of two minds. Like, yes, it's pointless because it can't be used content, but at the same time, it's not pointless because it has its own content designed around it, and it's like a solo experience. So that's quite interesting. They also released trusts, or announced trusts, which is another concept from FF11 where you have an NPC walk around with you. Now, depending on how much they go into the trusts and how much they utilize the trusts, I could make an entire video on how I want trusts to be implemented all on its own, quite frankly. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in my thoughts on a trust, and maybe I'll talk about that as well. But they're trying, with this trust, they're trying to bring people who have only played single player RPGs, and people who currently, because Final Fantasy XIV has a lot of players who are only playing this because it's a Final Fantasy game, right? Not because it's an MMO, not because it's something that they really, really want to play, but because it's a Final Fantasy game. And they love Final Fantasy. Right? So, adding trust and adding other solo content, and other solo content that can also be then implemented into parties. Like, Blue Mage will eventually have to go into, like, to fight Shiva. So you'll have to find 7 other people to go into Shiva with to learn Shiva's moves. You know? Like, stuff like that. So essentially you'll have to do it in some regard, and you will group up. So it's kind of worming the solo players into getting a party together. You know what I mean? Like they're slowly integrating the solo players into the system themselves. You know what I mean? So that's good. So that's very, very good. And the last thing I want to talk about real quick, because I realize this is going on for quite a while, is so Gunblade. I said that the next expansion would be Blue Mage, Gunblade, and Dancer. I didn't want Gunblade, but I assumed if we're going for Golem mode, we'd get Gunblade. I wanted Blade Dancer, I'm saying Blade Dancer specifically because it matches Alamegan lore. Okay, the Blade Dancers are Alamegan, and they're very fancy fighters. And I thought maybe you could have like a melee heal. So it's very, very different from what we currently have. And their blade, they fight with a sword, and they're a dancer, right? So I would like that to be a heal. And that hasn't been announced or even teased that, so I don't know if we're going to get that at all, but that's what I want. Gunblade, I want it to be a tank. I thought it would just be a DPS, but a friend of mine, she told me all about how she thought it would be a tank, and I actually agree with her. I think that would be really, really cool. I personally think it would be better if it would be a off-tank, like a strictly off-tank, like you're a Gunblade, so you're the off-tank. A lot of movement skills, a lot of ranged attacks, and physical attacks, so you get hate quickly from different positions of the map. And then Blue Mage, which is a DPS. But Blue Mage is its own thing now. Its own level 50 thing. So, are they going to add a tank and a healer? Just add a tank and a healer? In the expansion? Or are we going to get a tank and a DPS? Or a heal and a DPS? Or are we going to get, God forbid, another 2 DPSs? I understand there's a problem around this game, which I could also talk about for a while. But in my opinion, we need a 4th tank and a 4th heal. Just for variety's sake, we need those 2 things. So hopefully we get a tank and a heal out of this. I don't know what it's going to be, but that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that we get a tank and a heal. But the DPS class, Blue Mage, is no longer technically a DPS. It's like its own thing now. So I don't know if we are going to get... I don't know if they'll do an expansion without adding a new DPS or somebody, you know? So, there you go. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you guys want to hear me talk more about this shit in the comments below. I will see you all next week. I hope you guys have been enjoying Pokemon. I really enjoy Pokemon. The recording of Pokemon has been super fun. And I'm actually really, really proud of those episodes. So please watch those and enjoy those. And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.